And welcome to another edition of That is Censored, and That is a Sinkhole. That's right, it's Censored versus Sinkhole. The video that we make most days, where I talk about whatever I want. Were you aware that Google is not a verb? I mean, if you mean to say Google as a verb, and the meaning is to return extremely biased search results, or if you'd prefer to see Hillary Clinton as president, Alphabet was the largest donor to the Hillary Clinton campaign, donating about $34 million, if you weren't aware, through actual money and in-kind donations. Google, it's a scam, not a verb, and they've been ruining YouTube for well over a decade. And the overall message is, dear big tech, you can't break the internet, but the internet can break you. Were you aware of our other social media forays, such as Facebook, facebook.com/smashomash? Or what about on Instagram? Maybe you'd like to see our side view sunrises. Here's yesterday's. It was quite good. Have a look. And if you've got an Instagram account, follow the hashtag #SideViewSunrise. I see some other people have been doing it too. And if you decide to film a side view sunrise, please be safe, as I am a professional driver. We're also on Twitter. If you find it easier to share our videos that way, please do. We're also on Gab. Here's the space weather video we just put up. And welcome to the 160th anniversary of the Carrington event. Also check us out on Minds, minds.com/smashomash. The open source social media that will not shadow ban you. It won't try to deplatform or deperson you. Help us get to 500,000 views here, as we've lost a bunch of subscribers. So please join Minds, maybe send us some tokens. And most importantly, please become our latest patron, as our main source of revenue is on Patreon, not from YouTube, as YouTube pays us precisely zero. And if you enjoy the daily content, please do like and subscribe us on YouTube. Let's move on to more stuff. This one's for you, Smash Team. Now, as I've stated, today is the 160th anniversary of the Carrington event. Now, what does this mean for people like preppers? Well, here's what it means. The U.S. needs to harden the power grid, because in the event of a Carrington event, which we are massively overdue for right now, folks, the sun is expected to do this about every 100 years. And we're already 160 years in, and we haven't seen an event like the Carrington event since then. This did all kinds of things like shut down power grids, cause fires, transformers exploded, telegraph lines shorted out, shocked people, and started telegraph paper on fire. Some telegraphs were even able to be sent after being unplugged from their batteries, just through the induction of a bunch of protons colliding with the planet. Here's a GIF animation on the LASCO C3. This is from 2014, and this is what a coronal mass ejection that's Earth-facing looks like, folks. We call it a halo because you can see the plasma spreading out in all directions, an indication that it's moving towards you. So this is the kind of thing that we don't relish the thought of seeing, as it could lead to things like global disaster. Power outages are one of the most dangerous things that can happen to mankind, as the power required to make more transformers will be absent if the entire power grid goes down. People will kill each other for 1 gallon of gas as soon as gas becomes scarce. So imagine what it will be like a week or a month or 6 months with no power in the entire country, or perhaps the whole world. Here's another image of a coronal mass ejection. This one's from 2016. This is the LASCO C2. And again, this is what it looks like when you get a halo eruption. this coronal mass ejection headed toward the Earth. Let's hope we don't have to cover this anytime soon. And let's hope the power grid gets fortified in the meantime. And here's another GIF of a coronal mass ejection. This one occurring on June 6, 2000. Just another example of what those halo eruptions look like, folks. When you see it coming out on all directions like that, it could be time to stock up on beans, bullets, and Band-Aids. And here is the drawing by Richard Carrington of those fateful sunspots in 1859, which cause auroras to be seen all the way down in South America, Cuba, Jamaica, and all over the world. To quote Wikipedia, a solar storm of this magnitude occurring today would cause widespread electrical disruptions, blackouts, and damage due to extended outages to the electrical grid. The solar storm of 2012 was of similar magnitude, but it missed. It didn't really strike. Another interesting thing about the Carrington event is that it showed up extremely quickly, taking only about 17 hours from when the coronal mass ejection was observed to arriving at the planet. One of the theories is that perhaps a prior CME created sort of an ionic pathway to accelerate this particular CME. And let's talk about more stuff about the Carrington event on this 160th anniversary. And by the way, happy Labor Day, folks. Now, all kinds of weird stuff happened during this event, folks. Birds thought it was morning. Some masons got out of bed and started laying bricks. And then when they realized what time it was, they went back to bed. And people viewed auroras all around the planet in places that they didn't expect to see it. People used the opportunity to, in certain places to do stuff like read the newspaper from the light of the aurora borealis. We'll leave links to this page also. Were an event like the Carrington event to occur today, the induced current would destroy perhaps permanently the American power grid system, shutting down power for years. Water, communications, food delivery, emergency systems, internet, and all supplied power by the grid would cease to function. Some scientists even predict that smaller systems such as chips in cars and cell phones, and basically anything with a computer, would be damaged or destroyed by the induced current. A reason to build some Faraday cages for yourself. Also, you can use your microwave as a Faraday cage. Just make sure you unplug it, tape up the electrical tongs there, the tines that plug into the wall. Tape those up and put your devices inside the microwave, as microwaves are designed to keep ionizing radiation inside. Anyway, we'll also leave links to this, The Solar Apocalypse Survivor Guide by M.L. Banner. Now, this is completely unvetted, so anybody who reads up on this one, it is a free publication from what I'm reading here. If you do happen to read this book, please let us know what you think of it. Perhaps leave a review. We will cover it on the channel. Let's look at an article from April 14th, 2017. Pentagon to protect electric grid from massive attack. Now, we're not exactly sure the state of the affairs on this. We'll leave links to the article also, as DARPA is concerned about people like Kim Jong-un detonating nuclear weapons and causing EMPs on purpose, etc. Also, another website we did stumble upon in our show prep here, securethegrid.com. We'll leave links to this also, as there's a lot of different companies here creating some aspects of the solution. Now, I've heard estimates as low as $2 billion or $4 billion to secure the U.S. power grid. Please tell your local senator, congressman, etc. to vote to harden the grid. I mean, if it's only going to be a couple $1 billion, I would harden the grid before building a wall. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, this video will have a bunch of interesting links about securing the power grid. And thanks for tuning in, Smash Team. It's about that time. And before we close it out, how about a 94 angstroms view here? See that sunspot 2748 forming? And thanks for tuning in to the That Is Censored and That Is a Hole in the Ground, or Censored versus Sinkhole, or whatever you'd like to call it today. as the algorithms change second by second, I believe strictly designed to demonetize our videos. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy your Labor Day. Please harden your grid. And remember, when you're staring at the power grid, don't drink it. If you drink, stare at the power grid anyway. Just don't drive.